June 15th, 9 a.m. Garden updates. Let's get into it. Pasture from last week is growing back nicely, and I split it into two sections. I haven't gotten the back section yet. I'm letting it grow up more. So it'll kind of be like, I cut that in a week, then this will grow back, cut this again, then by the time this is cut, that side will be grown back. And at that point, that will be third cut on this section right here. So might even get a fourth cut out of this pasture by November. Anyways, enough about the scything for today. I want to get into some garden updates. We just got like at least 2 inches of rain, if not more, in a matter of a few hours yesterday. Let's see how the garden took to that. The seedlings, they drowned, but the Jerusalem artichokes are coming up lovely. It's these characters. And the flint corn is coming up nicely with some grass, excuse me. It's all flint corn. And the sweet corn didn't germinate so well. Probably too much shade. As you can see, these ones are taller than those ones, so casting too much shade. I tried taking off some of the leaves, but just gonna kind of let it do its thing. And then last night I just direct sowed pumpkins down this whole north side, so we'll see what happens. And all the tomatoes are starting to come around, looking beautifully. I counted, it ends up being like 23 around the entire perimeter. But the ones on the west side over here, they're all doing the best. And they just go down this whole row. And some New England pie pumpkin from my saved seed from last season. The beans finally coming up. Those are red swan beans. The eggplant intermixed with the oat cover crop and garlic. I've got to cut some of the oats back and lay it down. And then some more eggplant. So what had happened is that it was really hot really quickly. So then I put a lot of grass in here and I watered heavily. And then now it rained. Like, we had gotten some rain, and the grass just works so well that it really locks in that moisture. So there was already a lot of moisture here, and now that we've gotten 2 inches or more of rain, it's almost like some things are too wet, especially the peppers and the eggplants. But the cucumbers are also coming around. I just sowed pumpkins down this whole row right here. And all the garlic is doing beautifully. This is gonna be like a little perennial patch. Some strawberries, yarrow, and calendula. And there's some plantain in there. I also sowed some seeds along this whole. There's just gonna be a whole bunch of stuff. I could go around and be like, oh yeah, I sowed this here, sowed this there, but or we could just kind of look at it all. Oh dang, and these filled up again. So this is what had happened. Last night, I came up here after what I was doing yesterday, stacking some wood, and these were filled. These were overflowing. And these are at least like 2 inches deep. So if these were already filled once, and well, I guess these are all filled because there was a little bit water left in there. So we got about another, I don't know, 1/4 inch overnight, and there was definitely 2 to 3 inches that already rained yesterday. So all the seedlings got smacked, hammered. Ideally I should have moved these under the trees, but they had gotten rained on a few times, and I was like, oh yeah, they were good, but it wasn't the torrential 4-hour downpour. So luckily I've got more coming or growing inside, so stay tuned on these. But some of these might survive, some of these might do good, so see what happens. Squash inside here is doing good. And then I sowed some cantaloupe, and it's like this warmer inside the box. Cilantro, all coming up very well. Got a harvest off of that for some pesto. Potatoes, all doing lovely. Garlic, all doing lovely, intermixed with potatoes. More potatoes all coming up. And some lettuce and beet greens all coming up. And I just sowed some more beans here last night. Since it was working so good, taking up the beans in the pathways, I said, let's put some more beans in the pathways. And all lettuce, more lettuce coming up. And I'm gonna plant my sweet potato slips that I've been growing inside since February. So you want the soil to be warm because they're a tropical plant. So that's why this soil is bare right now. I did this about a week ago, but look at this bare soil. There's no weeds coming up. And that's because I've been doing a really good job over the past 2.5 years keeping the weed seed down. So some more lettuce coming up with some strawberries. So I'm trying to let this heat up. That's why the soil is bare, because the grass has a very cooling effect. So one more week, that'll be the 3rd week of June, in which I'm going to plant my sweet potato slips. But I also may plant some root crop here today, some radishes and turnips. And then I made some more space. There's kind of like a little horseshoe around this garlic, and that can be for sweet potato slips to be planted. That little dirt square can be used for sweet potato slips to be planted, or I could plant the root crop there and leave that for the sweet potato slips. And there's also like a little wood chip right here that can be planted with the sweet potato slips. I'll find space to plant them, but I was gonna plant them here in this new little spot that I made, but I needed to plant more beans. So overall, there's a lot going on, and it seems like it's gonna be a wet year. You never know, it could go either way at any point. cold, hot, smoke, blue, sunny day, sunny sky. Really just don't know. So it's kind of a weird year. I'm not the only one who's saying that, but some things are just taking longer than usual. But it'll be, yeah, I mean, look at this eggplant. It's like really sad. It's too wet. It's like drowning. But I have faith that they may be able to come out of it. The ones actually intermixed with the oats are doing pretty well. I've got my work cut out here for me today. I'm just trying to go through and document the garden every week to it really helped me last year being able to look back on you know, it helped me this year being able to look back on from last year, saying like, oh, I was planting this at this time, and obviously notes help with that too. Planting this at this time, and you can kind of see what was growing good at what point, and that's how I can tell that stuff's a little behind this year. Harvested some radishes out of here. Gonna get another. I harvested the big ones, let these grow up, come back. Same thing for all of these radishes down this whole row. Harvested all the big ones, come back and harvest those. So a lot of lettuce is germinating and coming up, and that's what I'm happy about, because that's what's lacking from this garden is J's lettuce blend. So gotten a few bags so far, but nothing nothing substantial. So that is the garden, and if you come back in a week, it's gonna be double in size. So look, we already got some beautiful flowers on the potatoes. All right, so One Love Wholeness, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.